My name is Vikramaditya Motwane. I am a writer, a producer, a director. I don't know in what order I'm what, but I'm all of those things. I've directed Udaan, I've directed Lootera, I've directed Bhavesh, Joshi, Superhero, I've directed a movie called Trapped, I've directed AKvsAK. I don't think any of these students have seen any of these films. I'm also the co-creator and director of Sacred Games, which I believe you guys have seen without telling your parents. I was crazy about the movies. I was crazy about Amitabh Bachchan. You know, he was my hero. But there was no way that I would have actually joined the movies at that time. You know, I'm not from a film family. And movies at that point in time when you're studying in school is so far removed from your daily life. And back then, something in a script called the inciting incident, and that's what always starts off a film. And the inciting incident in my life or my filmmaking journey it's a surprise. You'll never get it. You'll never guess it. It was my parents' divorce, actually. And now, I was about 10 years old. My mom's first job post-divorce was as a production manager. She worked with a cousin of hers. They would make documentaries and ad films. And she would take me on this set. And if you guys have ever been on a film set, if you're not a part of it, it's the most boring place in the world. Because you go there and there's lights and there's people and it's hot and they're doing things over and over and over again. And you're wondering why they're doing it over again. They got it perfectly fine the first time around. What's wrong with you? And I was like, I'm never going to be a part of this. I'll work with my father. I'll work in his factory. I'm never going to be a filmmaker, ever. Cut to, a few years later, it's 1993, I passed out of JNS, I'm in Midi College. I am literally sitting in the canteen and eating vada pav and having chai all day. And my mom is now, she has a partnership with this filmmaker called Sanjay Leela Bansali, who used to be an assistant director when she used to work with Shukla Das. Now the two of them have very enthusiastically started their own company together. And that company has failed miserably because neither of them know how to sell anything. They are artists, they have no idea how to go out there and sell a product for the life of them. My mom has an idea that she wants to do a talk show called Teen Talk. It's about how you talk to teenagers, discuss their problems, have them talk to you. So she had this idea and she's like, since all of you are doing nothing but sitting in college all day, completely vela, you will now work with me. So we became labor, cheap labor. And we helped her research and we helped her find the audience and we helped her make the questions of how this show would work. And suddenly, my life seemed to have some sort of purpose because I was out there and I was going out with all my friends and finding out like these questions and really doing something. And then the first day of shoot arrives. It's at the Nanavati Hospital Auditorium. I don't know if you guys know, it's underneath over there. And it's amazing, we have 4 cameras, and it's kind of like this, this amphitheater kind of vibe, and there's a set, and there's 4 cameras, and lots of lights, and there's this buzz around, and there's 100 people there, and there's, catering for 100 people, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And I was told, okay, you're going to sit in the control room, and you're going to watch the tapes, and you're going to make a note of the time code, at what time, questions come, and I was like, what the hell is time code? And that was the whole point, in a certain sort of way, because it was the discovery of something brand new. It's like something that I had never ever done in my life, and it was amazing. And that was the day where I was like, great, I'm going to be a filmmaker, forget engineering, this is my calling, right? And I was 17 years old, and I thought, okay, this is fine, I can make it by 22, in 5 years time, I'm going to learn everything, I want to make my first movie when I'm 22 years old. And I actually made my first movie when I was 32 years old. So, the 10 years in between, those years, are kind of, in a sense, the most crucial years of my life. They're the years that I learned the most when I was doing nothing, when I was what you call a struggler. That's a filmy term. So, I started working with this director called Gargi. We used to do a show called Disney Club. We would shoot 1 day a week, edit 1 night a week. Manu let me, he let me edit the stuff by myself, and I gained a lot of experience of that. So, what were my learnings? If I have to go back and say, what did I learn in those 10 years? And I can say, yes, there is hard work and sacrifice. As Nishant has said, those are the things you have to do if you actually want to achieve something. That's a given. But personally, for me, there's 5 things that I picked up. There's knowledge, there's experience, There is patience, there is friendship, and I'll tell you the fifth thing at the end of this, so it'll connect everything up together. So I worked with Manu, I gained a lot of experience. Manu introduced me to the world cinema beyond Bollywood and Hollywood. So I started watching the movies of Ingmar Bergman and Woody Allen, so now I gained knowledge. And after that, I started to work with Sanjay Bansali. He was making a movie called Nandin De Chikasana. I was his assistant director in that movie for 2.5 years, so that was knowledge plus experience. I then met this director called Deepa Mehta. She was making a film called Water. We were shooting in Banaras. Over there, I met this gentleman called AKvsAK, who's another filmmaker. We hit it off amazingly well. We're the closest of friends today. So that was, knowledge, experience, friendship, all those things. After Water, and Anurag actually helped me, when he was making his first film, he allowed me to shoot his songs, he allowed me to do his sound design. So that was more of, gaining experience and gaining knowledge. I've also assisted Vishal Bharadwaj on this film that never got made. I came back to assist Sanjay Bansali on Devdas, and by now it's 2002. I've got a lot of knowledge, I've got a lot of experience. I am all set. I am now 25. I'm going to make my first film, and I take this script called Bombay Talkies to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, which has been written by me and my friend Bhavani Iyer. Mr. Bachchan loves it. I think it's all set. I'm going to go and make my film, and then I can't cast the second actor that I wanted in that film. It's a year of just running around and getting rejected. And I'm now learning my first lessons in patience, which is a big, big thing. And then the years after that, after this are tough. So I was like, fine, but I'm not going to give up. So I go and I write a film called Udaan. Udaan is a film, if you guys have seen it, it's a story about a 17, 18-year-old boy who comes home from boarding school to, his father, who he hasn't seen in 8 years. He also discovers that he's got a younger stepbrother. I wrote this script, like, why are you making this film? This is Bollywood. But I was really determined to make that film. Something about that film, something about that story really, really spoke to me. And I was adamant, and I was just like, I will make this film. And I almost did. In 2005, I went out, we were casting, we got locations, the finance was already there, and it fell out twice. It never happened twice. So again, I got back into it. I wrote about 5 or 7 films for myself. I wrote a film called Dhan 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 Gol, which please don't see. I wrote a film called Devdi, which yes, you must see. And then I was, constantly doing, and I was shooting whatever I could. I would pick up, when I got married, I asked my in-laws, the typical thing when they ask you what do you want for your wedding gift, and you expect that you get a nice watch, and I'm like, I want a movie camera, I want a video camera. So they gave me a video camera, they indulged me in that. I would shoot anything and everything. I would shoot friends' weddings, I would shoot, my wife's first Karwa Chauth, I would shoot. I did a short film, I was a cinematographer on 2 other short films, basically gained all the experience. So by now, I'm like, I have experience, I have knowledge, I have patience, and I have friendship, and it's all there, so now. Then it takes a little divine intervention. This is where divine intervention comes in. So this was, by now, 2009, it's early 2009. I'm ashamed to say, I used to smoke back then. And my wife, Ishika, who was my girlfriend from school, actually. So if any of you, have her.
School doesn't like that.
Yeah, school told me. Clearly, so sorry. And so she would tell me for the longest time, like, you should quit smoking, And I'm like, yeah, I'll quit smoking when I make my first film. And she rolled her eyes and said, why don't you, maybe if you quit smoking, you'll make your first film. And I'm like, what do you mean? So, it was 2009, I was working in Nikhil Advani's office. And he used to have an office on the 3rd floor of this bungalow in Panigat, Bandra. And one day I went to his office and I walked up 3 flights of stairs and I had to sit down. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is absurd. I'm 32 years old. I cannot possibly be having to sit down after banging 3 flights of stairs. And I decided at that moment, I'm going to quit smoking. Like, cold turkey, best decision of my life. 2 days later, literally 2 days later, Anurag calls me up and says, "Do you want to make Udaan?" Dev is released, Dev is done really well, and he's got producers who are willing to back him. So I said, "Of course I want to do that." He says, "Fine, it's great." Shika was out of town at that time. My wife was out of town. And then I didn't tell her that I quit smoking because I'm like, I don't know, let's see. She comes back and I tell her a couple of weeks later, and I'm like, Udaan getting made. So she's like, "Oh, great." And I also quit smoking. And she said, "What did you do first? What came first?" Very sheepishly had to say that yes, I quit smoking first. And she's like, "See?" So yeah, I mean, one way of looking at it is yes, there's luck, there's divine intervention, there's privilege, which is true. I've been very lucky in the fact that I never had to pay for rent or pay for a meal. When I was struggling, my parents have been super, helpful. They've always supported what I wanted to do. But the other way of seeing it is that it's my knowledge, it's my experience that helped me write a script that somebody actually wanted to make. It's my friendship with Anurag that made him believe in me, and it's the patience that I had over all those years to end up waiting for a moment where I didn't give up the fact that I really wanted to be a filmmaker. And so why did Anurag believe in me to sort of like do that? And that brings me to the point fifth of the 5 points is it sounds like a cliche and everybody tells you this all their entire life, but it's been very hard for me to sort of like do it, is for me to be an individual, to be myself, to have my own stories to tell that are not derived from somewhere else. My own voice, my own authenticity has been a very tough struggle personally for me, and I think discovering that has been one of the greatest joys of my life, and I'm still doing it. I grew up in a joint family. I had elder cousins who were very cool. So when you look up at them, you want to be as cool as them, and then it makes you sort of like feel that, okay, when you have to try harder, you have to conform, you have to be somebody else you're not. And I love them all to death, but you tend to dress a certain way, have your hair a certain way, and it's taken me many, many years to accept the fact that I like wearing black. And I like my hair like this, and it doesn't matter. For a long time, you'd always want to be someone else. Until when you're finding my own voice, I ended up finding the fact that, okay, these are stories that I want to tell, and that's how it happened. And I used to be, fairly lonely child, and I could never have done this speech even 10 years ago, quite honestly. And I used to listen to, so when you are a bit of a loner, you tend to have obsessions, right? You tend to I used to listen to rock music, I used to be crazy about football, crazy about aeroplanes, I can tell an aeroplane in the sky, it's a useless parrot, but I can tell those sessions, what do you call crushes, right? I had a crush on football, I had a crush on aeroplanes. I had a crush on photography, and that was one of the things, in the 80s, you had these big cameras you take around film, there was no cell phones, obviously. And you shoot on film, which had to go and get processed, and it was expensive, and my father really indulged me, I don't know why. And the family would be like, oh, and my cousins would be like, here comes photo league to take the photos and stuff like that. It was fun. That obsession, that crush, eventually someone time turns into love. I think I'm the most truthful person when I'm on a film set, because it's the one place that kind of frees me up to be who I am. And ask me to shoot for 200 days of the year, 16 hours a day, no problem, I'll do it happily, because that's where I love to be. So, message to everybody, if there is anything in all of this, it sounds very simple, that you need to be yourself, especially in the creative world, and I think that's really, really important. And for whatever people say about the film industry, there's so much said about it's this way, it's that way, and then, whatever, nepotism, and, it's a sleazy place and all that kind of stuff. I have to say one thing, this is, for me and for a lot of my friends and my collaborators, it has been the most welcoming place in the world, because it believes that individuality is important. It believes in you having to express yourself, whether you're a writer, or a director, or a producer, or a cinematographer, or a dancer, or an actor, or anybody. Your individuality is what matters. That's what makes people love you. That's what makes people just do a lot better. So yeah, if you guys want to be creative, you want to be anything, just be yourselves.